Night, oppressive, suffocating. Sergeant Mimbongeni Nkosi, eyes sharp as a hawk's, scanned the endless dunes. His team, shadows against the starlight, moved like phantoms. They were South Africa's finest, tasked with the impossible. Tonight silence was their shield, the desert their weapon. Years of training had honed their senses, each man a silent predator in this desolate landscape. Nkosi felt the familiar thrum of adrenaline, a constant companion. This mission, whispered intel suggested, was bigger than any of them. They were hunting a ghost, a man whose name was spoken with equal parts fear and reverence. General Mustafa, a warlord with blood on his hands. His capture, their superiors promised, would bring peace to this ravaged land. Nkosi wasn't fighting for peace, he was fighting for his men, for their safe return. The intel, delivered by a nervous informant, spoke of a clandestine meeting. General Mustafa, seeking to solidify his power, planned to meet with several tribal leaders. The location, a desolate oasis, miles from civilization. Their orders were clear. Capture Mustafa, neutralize any resistance. Nkosi and his team moved with precision. Days blurred into nights. They navigated treacherous dunes, the sun a relentless enemy. Each man carried the weight of the mission, the knowledge that one mistake could spell disaster. As they neared the oasis, whispers of doubt began to surface. The informant, they discovered, was a known liar, a chameleon who served whoever paid the most. Nkosi felt a knot of unease in his stomach. They were walking into a trap. The oasis shimmered in the distance, a mirage of palm trees and water. Nkosi, his gut screaming danger, ordered his team to fan out. As they approached, a figure emerged from the shadows, tall, imposing, with eyes that burned with cold fire. It was Colonel de Villiers, a man Nkosi thought dead, lost years ago in a botched operation. De Villiers, his face a mask of hard lines, greeted them with a chilling smile. He spoke of Mustafa, of the importance of their mission. Nkosi, however, saw past the charade. De Villiers had always been ambitious, ruthless. His presence here, especially after all these years, stank of treachery. Nkosi played along, his mind racing. De Villiers was a wild card, his motives unclear. The mission, already fraught with danger, had just become infinitely more complicated. The night exploded in a cacophony of gunfire. Tracers lit up the sky, turning the oasis into a deadly kaleidoscope. Nkosi, caught off guard, hit the sand as bullets ripped through the air. De Villiers, his betrayal swift and brutal, had led them into an ambush. Nkosi, relying on instinct and years of training, rallied his men. They were outnumbered, outgunned, but not outmatched. He could hear De Villiers' voice, laced with amusement, directing the enemy fire. The betrayal cut deep, a personal wound that fueled Nkosi's rage. As the battle raged, Nkosi realized their only hope was to fight their way to Mustafa's compound, to use the warlord as leverage. It was a desperate gamble, but in this maelstrom of bullets and betrayal, it was their only chance. The compound, a fortress of mud brick and barbed wire, loomed before them. Nkosi, his body a symphony of pain, led the charge, his AK-47 spitting fire. He moved like a man possessed, each bullet a testament to his fury at De Villiers' betrayal. Inside, chaos reigned. Mustafa's men, taken by surprise, fought back with a ferocity born of desperation. Nkosi and his team, their numbers dwindling, fought their way through the compound, their path lit by the muzzle flashes of their weapons. The air was thick with the smell of cordite and blood. Nkosi, his uniform ripped and stained, finally reached Mustafa's chambers. The warlord, surrounded by terrified women, looked up in fear as Nkosi kicked in the door. Mustafa, his reign of terror at an end, was quickly subdued. Nkosi, his face grim, allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction, but the fight was far from over. De Villiers, his treachery exposed, had vanished in the chaos. Nkosi, using Mustafa as bait, set a trap. He contacted De Villiers, his voice cold and devoid of emotion, and offered to trade Mustafa for safe passage. De Villiers, blinded by greed and ambition, readily agreed. He underestimated Nkosi's resolve, his burning need for justice. The ambush was swift, brutal. De Villiers, surrounded and outmaneuvered, realized the depth of his miscalculation. He railed against Nkosi, spewing venom and accusations, but his words fell on deaf ears. Nkosi watched as De Villiers, his treachery laid bare for all to see, was taken into custody. News of the operation, of Mustafa's capture and De Villiers' betrayal, spread like wildfire. Nkosi and his surviving men, hailed as heroes, returned to a hero's welcome. The desert, once a symbol of their ordeal, now represented their resilience, their unwavering loyalty. The scars of the mission, both physical and emotional, ran deep. Nkosi, decorated for his bravery, found little solace in accolades. He had stared into the abyss, witnessed the depths of human depravity, and emerged forever changed. He knew that there would be other missions, other battles to fight. The desert, he realized, held many shadows and he, Sergeant Ibongeni Nkosi, would be there to face them.